Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed the 24th Annual Conference of the IAIS as much as I have. But it's not yet over. This is the last, but certainly not the least session. It is our opportunity to honor our Secretary General, Yoshihiro Kawai. You can think of Yoshi's work for the association as building a house. Yoshi set the foundations of the IAIS. He joined in 1998, almost 20 years ago, when the association was comprised of two other persons, literally 3 men and a dog. It had no infrastructure, no governance, relative few members, and it was not much more than an informal talking shop. Brick by brick, with patience, fortitude, calmness, and resilience, and armored by a perennial optimism deriving from what I think is an impressive inner strength, he built it to what it is now. An internationally recognized standard-setting body with more than 200 members that makes a difference. But even the grandest of houses, castles or palaces, can feel cold and unwelcome unless there is a sense of family warmth when you enter them. And I truly believe that this is the other of Yoshi's legacies. Through his tireless networking, his genuine interest in supervisory systems across every corner of the world, and his equally genuine interest in people. Through his personal warmth, and as Peter said at the gala dinner yesterday, his smile, Yoshi created a sense of community. He turned the house he built into a home. Yoshi has also been very supportive of me since I became chair. At every juncture, he has sought to respond to my numerous requests. I'm a little bit of a tough master, and to my feedback. Never defensive, his focus has been in improving the house he built by making it bigger and stronger while maintaining its warmth and friendliness. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support, Yoshi, personally. As you all know, Yoshi is also a man of the world. He has lived in Tokyo and in many cities in Europe, such as London, Paris, Fontainebleau, Warsaw, and Basel, and has traveled literally all over the world. He speaks a number of languages and is entirely comfortable in and with many cultures. That said, it has to be said that sometimes he has found Europe and Europeans somewhat perplexing. For example, when he was meant to go to a meeting in Frankfurt on Main, the well-known financial center on the River of Main, in the center of Frankfurt, where the ECB is and EIOPA are, etc. Well, where did he end up? He ended up in Frankfurt on the River Odon, in the border with Poland, 650 kilometers away from the Frankfurt that we all know. Now, who can blame Yoshi for this? These Europeans do have very subtle and confusing distinctions. Why do they go about seeking unity in diversity, for God's sake? Unity in unity surely must be much simpler. Another example has been my name. Victor, Victoria, Vicky. Am I a chair, a chairperson, a chairman? Victor and chairman, it was yesterday. Joking aside, Yoshi, thank you so much for building us a home. You have left us a great legacy, and you should be very proud of that. And all the best for the future. You will be successful in whatever you choose to do next. Thank you. Felix Hufeld, the previous chair of the IAIS and now president of BaFin, will give some remarks.
Well, Yoshi, now it's getting serious. Unlike yesterday, where it was not yet the time, now is the time. And now when Yoshi and I, a couple of years back, had a whole range of conversations about his personal and contractual situation, eventually leading to this moment today, he took a promise from me and asking, all right, as a return, I want you to be there if I finally retire from IAIS. I said, okay. I mean, from Frankfurt am Main, going to Basel, that's not such a big deal, isn't it? You know? So here I am in Kuala Lumpur, traveling half of the globe to say goodbye to Yoshi, and there are very few duties I had to take over in my professional life, which I took over with more pleasure than that. You know, thanks to the governor who knows you for such a long time yesterday, many of your achievements in your professional career as the General Secretary of IAIS has been described very ably. I mean, none of the, let me call it, products or results of what IAIS has been achieved over so many years, core principles, ComFrame, capital standards, and inclusion work, development work, could be thought about without thinking about Yoshi. But that's just one thing. So I won't reiterate all the major achievements which have already been mentioned before. The other element, I think, is what Vicky pointed at, which I'm happy to reiterate. In order to be a successful General Secretary, actually you have to be in a variety of jobs at the same time. And the other one is something you could call institution builder. And Yoshi was indeed a very able institution builder, which in itself is a mixture of very different things. Structures, organizational patterns, but very much people. Nothing happens in such a team which is so much dependent on going the extra mile without being good with people. And Yoshi, you are such a tremendous, and sometimes I felt unique example of somebody who can combine those various things. Just walking the talk and giving a great example, which leads me to maybe the final component which I want to point at, which goes simply beyond the sheer professional side of things, which is something which I at least have seen very rarely in my professional life, and I think is one of the greatest things I found in both our personal cooperation as well as in watching what you do in Basel. Let me just call it style. There are many intelligent people around. There are many successful people around. But there are very few people who combine that degree of success and quality with such a unique personal style. Yoshi, that's absolutely unique, and thank you so much for that. And what do I mean by that? It's that incredible combination of components which lead to that specific Yoshi way of doing things. And without you knowing it, it's like judo, you know? I mean, he won. And you know, it's tenacity. It's a very healthy degree, believe it or not, of competitiveness. And did you know that he's been one of the top 10 tennis players when he was at school in Japan? Yeah, you probably did not know that. But nothing comes from nothing, you know? At the same time, he has that unique way of a very soft but still result-driven way of getting things done. That's sort of the most un-Germanic thing you could think about. You know, we don't know how to do that, but in most of the cases at least. And Yoshi, that combination, I think, is a very, very special attribute which you have been bringing to the table. And you know, getting such a job, creating such an important institution, and staying there for such a long time does require that kind of combination which I try to display a little bit through my eyes and the kind of interaction we had in our common time. And I know, of course, as Vicky said, and we know from Peter, my predecessor as chair, has been around as long as you served as the General Secretary. Now, to come to an end, I have to admit something pretty key. When I took over, you know, from this Austrian guy, Peter, he was constantly bribing Yoshi and the whole team with those Austrian cakes called Sachertorte. And of course, I knew I had to come up with something to beat that. So I came up with the world-famous Black Forest cherry gâteau, which some of you may or may not know. The problem is, which I didn't consider appropriately, Sachertorte is a very compact thing, which you can neatly pack in a box and find in every single corner at the Vienna airport. You just grab it, bring it along, and the whole team in Basel is just adoring yourself. Well, that's not that easy with the Black Forest cherry gâteau. It's a much more subtle and fragile thing, extremely difficult. In fact, I tried many things to get it to Kuala Lumpur, and of course I failed. We even tried to find a bakery in Kuala Lumpur to get this thing baked. So if you can't get the cake to the guy, get the guy to the cake. So what I brought along, something you have seen already, is a voucher. This lovely lady wears the typical hat for the traditional robe which is worn in the Black Forest region, which is a gigantic hat with red, however you call that, balls or something. This is a piece of the world-famous Black Forest cherry gâteau. And so I'd be very happy, Yoshi, and if around your wife, to please come along to the Black Forest, which is not so far away from Basel. In fact, I know that Yoshi likes driving up to the Black Forest regions just doing shopping, because it's much cheaper than in Switzerland. So please come along. We'll have a walk, and we'll stay at a very nice traditional hotel in the middle of the Black Forest and really eat and taste this time. You have to come along. The world's best Black Forest cherry gâteau available. So, Yoshi, if I could ask you to come up, please, so I can hand it over to you this time, real. And thank you very, very much indeed. So I'm afraid that's it, Yoshi. You're up for new things. You just leave us behind, desperate, which leaves me just to make a couple of quick remarks. Well, Jonathan, now it's up to you. You'll handle it somehow, I'm sure. You won't be another Yoshi, but you'll be a Jonathan. And I'm absolutely sure you'll do a marvelous job, and I couldn't be more pleased that IAIS managed to transition into your safe hands as somebody who's been around for such a long time, knows the trades of business, and And I couldn't be more confident in where I am today to see that you pick it up. You will have your own style. You'll find your own ways around. That's perfectly okay, because the phase, the era, which had to be created by Yoshi stands for itself. You will create your own. And I think, and I hope, it'll be for the benefit of all of us, for the industry, for the global insurance industry, for good regulation, for, again, we had such a broad range of important issues. All the best, Jonathan. All the best, Yoshi, for your new plans. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you.
First, apologies. Yesterday, I don't know why I call Vicky supporter's name Victory or Vic, but maybe just my interpretation is maybe, you know, she have achieved, well, of course, EXCO members, huge victory of at least ICS version 2.0. It's announcement of victory, and maybe because of that, I'm very sorry, but of course, Vicky supporter, not chairman, but chairperson. That's the right way. And Felix, thank you very much, this one. I still remember you brought also photo at Morocco's conference. So I really hope that in the future, I will just accept invitation and get this, not Zaha Torte, but Blackboard Tate. Thank you very much. It's more than, how do you say, I'm extremely grateful for your very kind word, generous word, and Vicky, Felix, and last night, Peter Blamila and Governor Muhammad. But bottom line, I really think that it's not me, it's you. All the achievement that IAIS have achieved, it's not at all my contribution. I know that all chairs, you have their own job, and they come to the meeting, debate from morning till night, members the same, debate, and stakeholders the same. You have your job, and you come to the meeting, debate with us. Our secretariat colleagues who never show up on the stage, you don't know many of them, but they work day and night behind the scene. So it's not totally myself, but my colleagues, chairs, and you who made this association successful. What I did for the last 20 years is very simple. I take care of this association because I like it. I have huge attachment to this association. But again, this is not because of me, because of you and your predecessors. You like association, you have strong engagement, and naturally, I want to do my job as Secretary General. You have such a strong engagement. And top of the Secretariat have to take this very seriously. So it's solely because of you I'm here today. So it's amazing. It's simply amazing 20 years working this association. And I'm extremely fortunate surrounded by superb colleagues, friends. And I just remember the first contact of this association goes all the way back to 1996. It was annual conference in Paris. I was at that time 34 years old, very young, have nothing, you know. When I came to IAIS annual conference, I hardly knew anybody. Everybody looked, or they were, much older than me. They are much senior, and I was very much intimidated. But I encouraged myself and introduced myself, IAIS members, colleagues. Amazingly, they are extremely friendly, and they treated me as a colleague that they have worked together for a long period of time. They invited me to a meeting, and after a meeting, they just invited me a drink. And this is the first encounter of the IAIS. I was fascinated with this IAIS culture, and I had a dream to be a part of that team. And the dream came true. So IAIS kicked off Association Secretariat, Permanent Secretariat, 1998 in Basel. And I joined the association from the beginning of Secretariat, Permanent Secretariat. And since then, I've been always in the association. So now 20 years, this is the last occasion to speak on behalf of Secretary General. I just prepare a short, brief history of the association. It's extremely low-tech, not high-tech, lowest tech. I draw some pictures. My drawing capacity have not improved since childhood, so please bear with me. So I just want to explain with this drawing, with this picture, to help you a brief history of the IAIS. Oh, it does not work. Yes. Oops, it's too fast. Oh, sorry, it does not. Could you put it as third slide? Yeah, it will come up. It starts from 1998, when I first joined the IAIS Secretariat. As Vicky mentioned, we had nothing. We had only 3 people. My predecessor, Secretary General, first Secretary General, Knut Hofeld, Cecilia Müller-Chen, and myself. We had only 3 members of the Secretariat. Let's try. It works. So we had nothing, and but we had very small, but we had a huge ambition to create a new international organization, and ambition to create new international insurance rules of the game. So it is like base of the beautiful mountain with a small group of mountain climbers with no equipment. But mountain was so beautiful that we could not resist moving up and up every day. Knut and myself, first few years, we were always in the office, day and night, 24/7, but we are enjoying enormously. And if we are not in the office, we are somewhere around the world for meeting or negotiation. It was extremely intensive, but extremely rewarding initial period of the IAIS. Then, that's 2003. Then after a few years, we felt like we climbing up the summit of the mountain. It was marvelous view. We have first set of ICBs. We are official member of Financial Stability Forum at that time. We have first financial outlook and strategic plan, and we worked with World Bank, IMF for FSAP, and ICP was integrated in FSAP. So we have a feel of achievement. And at the top of the mountain, we looked around, and guess what? We saw another beautiful mountain in front of us. So naturally, we could not resist to moving up. So from 2003 to 2003 to 2008, it was very smooth ride. Economy is booming, people are very positive, very relaxing, smooth moving. And then 2007-08, financial crisis broke out. AIG crisis, other insurance-related crises triggered enormous amount of discussion about insurance and systemic risk, and also globally, more globally consistent insurance regulation, including capital. And also association-wise structure and governance are challenged by external bodies. So we are not sure that we cope with this huge challenge. So what we did is discuss again and again, day and night, 24/7. It was like initial period of our association. And then, this is financial crisis. Then 2015, at the beginning of 2015, we are enormously happy to reach the second peak of the mountain. Yesterday, Peter a little bit explained. The second peak of the mountain was marvelous. I call it transformation of the IAIS, association or new era of IAIS. We have a much stronger, much solid foundation, more capacity, more expertise, as well as flexibility and agility. Associations has totally changed. Our governance structure, our resource, and so on, everything has changed. And as a result, as you have seen, we have first ever basic capital requirement, BCR, HLA was developed. We have developed this GSII policy measures assessment methodology. And we become an indispensable member of Financial Stability Board. And we created very comprehensive peer review self-assessment program. So we felt very much with full satisfaction from the top of the peak. And then we looked around. Guess what? We saw another peak of the mountain. Now, we are in the middle of the third mountain under the leadership of Vicky. So you are now enjoying huge opportunities. As we discussed last few days, you will enjoy huge opportunities creating implementable ICS version 2.0. And you are enjoying huge opportunity to creating activity-based approach to systemic risk. And you have huge opportunities to create very solid new ICPs complaint. And also an enhancement of peer review self-assessment. And naturally, we are committed to coping with new challenge of fintech or cyber risk. So you are facing enormously challenging but enjoyable challenge in the future. And as you have seen in the past, you have achieved all the goals that you have set. So I'm sure that from now on, you will summit the peak in few years' time, and we will have a huge success in few years' time. So I just think about why this association is so strong. You mentioned yesterday, Felix, in comparison with banking, we have a community split. That's really appreciate comment. I identify 3 or 4 key strengths of our association. First, diversity. Unity by diversity. That's the word that I have to tell. So we are very diverse and different views. Association is composed of 210 jurisdictions. We are different, we are diverse. This is the origin of the association, and this is origin of strength of the association. We are diverge, therefore we exist, and therefore we are strong. Second strength is global convergence. We are committed to converge globally because the world is global. Regulation have to be global. It's obvious. So our mandate is promoting globally consistent insurance supervision. Point. Our members' commitment is to act for the best interest of global community, not individual jurisdictions. Clear. So what we are doing every day in terms of association is creating a global greater goods together. So this mandate, our goal is extremely important strength of the association, and that demonstrates last few days, thanks to Vicky's and EXCO members. It was extremely difficult discussion, but we achieved because people are facing to the same goal. Dialogue, discussion. We are different, but we discuss together, face to face, by discussion, by mutual understanding, and also thinking together and seeking a greater truth together and find a solution. This is again enormous strength of the association. Without dialogue, without discussion, nothing happens. Last few months, I clearly remember Vicky and EXCO members, Jonathan and others discussed again and again on ICP, ICS version 2.0's issues. And goal is clear. We achieved the announcement yesterday. Moving up. As you have seen the history, short history of the association, or brief history of the association, we are constantly moving up, moving forward. We never gone down or gone backward. This is a chart, what we have achieved in the past. We never go down, going up. So in short, we are different, we are diverse, but we are committed to the same goal, global convergence. Therefore, we talk each other, we discuss each other, and again, we try to find a solution, never give up, and we reach the summit. The mission impossible, make mission impossible possible, and make it happen. This is the IAIS, and this is the strength of the IAIS. So please allow me to close with a few personal remarks. It has been a fascinating 20 years. And the joy of the IAIS is from a teamwork, fellowship, members, friendship. This is the joy of the IAIS. Members, secretariat colleagues, stakeholders. It's an immensely rewarding experience working with you for this association. It is like I try to find the sort of image what it is like. Yeah, it's come out. So it is like climbing mountain together, enjoying in a beautiful scenery, mountains, trees, flowers, fresh air. This is the image of IAIS work for me. And I will treasure throughout my life the excellent memory of meeting you in various parts of the world, discussing together day and night, creating something good, greater good together. I sincerely thank all of you, each and every one of you, for your friendship and fellowship. You are very committed, you are very motivated, you have great sense of humor, and you are full of goodwill and spirit of cooperation. Special thanks to our chairs, Vicky Saporta, Felix Fufeld, of course, others who are not here, Peter Blaumiller, and before Felix, Peter, and before Peter Blaumiller, Michel Flamme, Alexandro Yupa, Manuel Aguilera, Henry Clark, John Thompson, George Puri. Those are chairs that I have served. Thanks to you, thanks to your encouragement, and thanks to your support, I complete the responsibility of the IAIS. Special thanks to our secretariat colleagues. It's you. It's you and your colleagues. It's you and members. It's you and chairs. You made it happen. And I would like to add special thanks to my wife, Eriko. I enjoy so much my life in IAIS. Time to time, it's not so good for the family. I call, and you might know that we have telephone conference very late in the evening, or constant exchange of emails, business travels, weekend holidays. But Eriko always supported me. So without you, I don't stand here. So thank you very much. And I trust, just one last word, I trust that you give strong support to Jonathan Dixon. That's even stronger or more greater support to Jonathan Dixon. Jonathan will be an excellent and superb Secretary General of the IAIS. So Jonathan, please come to the stage.
Yoshi, it's my great honor to be taking on this baton from you. It's a real privilege to be building on the very strong foundations that you've built over these past 20 years. It's truly remarkable what you've achieved. You have been a mountaineer par excellence. You talked in your remarks about how the member community has touched your life. Let me talk a bit about how you have touched my life. As we shared over a beer on the way back from Bonn last week. When I joined the IAIS community as a member some 8 years ago, I experienced a web of subcommittees and unspoken modes of operation which were quite hard to navigate. But it was your openness, your natural warmth, and your friendship that drew me in to the association. And it was you who gave me the encouragement to be a strong voice for emerging markets that could be heard amongst those of the big players. So I would not be standing here today if it were not for you. So thank you very much for that. Over time, through this engagement, I have developed a deep belief in what the IAIS stands for. We are an inclusive association. One might say that this is actually our greatest strength, as we are able to call upon and help build capacity across supervisors representing every corner of the globe. We also demonstrate how people from different regulatory regimes with different interests and different perspectives can work together towards a common goal and find joint solutions. And lastly, we know how to make tough decisions through robust dialogue like we demonstrated this week. So if this sounds familiar, I think that's testament to the smoothness of the transition. I have enjoyed greatly watching you live these values as Secretary General, and I share your deep belief in the value of working together to find joint solutions to our common supervisory challenge of better protecting policyholders and promoting global financial stability. I can assure you that this very special association is as close to my heart as I know it is to yours. And that I will be the very best custodian that I can be for this warm family home that you have built, as Vicky put it. I take on this role in an exciting time, at a moment in which we have demonstrated yet again our ability to come together and work towards a common goal. I look forward to helping to deliver on our current commitments, on ICS, on ComFrame more generally, on a global plan for the mitigation of systemic risk in the insurance sector. At the same time, there are new emerging risks and opportunities that we need to be alert to. These are challenging but exciting times in terms of the work ahead on developing a forward-looking supervisory response to fintech, cybersecurity, sustainability. And lastly, we need to prepare to pivot to an increased focus on assessing and supporting implementation of agreed global standards, especially as we complete some of our major projects. But as Vicky mentioned in her AGM remarks, how we go about this work is as important as what we do. It is my commitment to make sure that the IAIS is an inclusive organization that offers value to each and every member from across our broad membership. I look forward to bringing an emerging market perspective, in fact an African perspective, to the role. And Yoshi, I promise I will never forget that our diversity is our greatest strength. I'm also committed to the principles of transparency and robust stakeholder engagement that instill confidence in the decisions we make. So Yoshi, this is the end of an era in many ways, but thankfully I inherit a strong leadership team that you've helped build. So not only existing Deputy Secretary Generals Roman and Catherine, but also newly appointed COO Andrew Stolfi, and Head of Implementation Connor Donaldson, and also a secretariat team of 35 highly talented individuals that will make my life a lot easier. And together with the leadership from Vicky and the rest of the EXCO team, we will collectively make sure that we continue, to borrow a phrase, make it happen, and keep on making the impossible possible. All my very, very best to you, and thank you for your inspiration and for your friendship. So Yoshi, I think at this point, before asking you to come up, I think, Stephen, if I'm correct, we have a short visual tribute as well to you.
Yoshi, may I call you to the lectern? This is our gift, which is signatures from us, thanking you for all your service. Actually, if I'm taking away the gift, if there's anyone in this room who hasn't had the opportunity to sign it, we will leave it outside, if I may, take it away from you for a few minutes. After the end of the conference, please do go. It will be at the desk straight outside on the right. It's a great opportunity to put your thoughts on Yoshi in it. Thank you very much, and pass on to you to end this annual conference.